Hey, Louisville fans, just a heads up. I have something to tell you that you may or may not know, but you need to know going into this matchup with SMU. Full Week 6 ACC picks coming up right now, but starting with the big stakes in Louisville, Kentucky. SMU travels on the road to try to knock off the Cardinals on their home field, who are off a loss last week. That stinks. Wasn't an ACC game. So there's still a 0 in the loss column for Louisville as far as conference play goes. They play SMU this week, who have been vastly improved since the first couple weeks of the season, since they made the flip to Jennings at quarterback. It has worked out so far for Rhett Lashley and company, coming off a win against Florida State last week. Then they play at Virginia next week, very winnable football game, and then they host Miami. And later in the season, they've got to play Boston College on the road. They've got to play Clemson on the road. They have to play Stanford on the road. 3 straight conference road games without a bye are upcoming following the Virginia game. So it's going to be a tough stretch. Or following the Miami game, beg your pardon. So there's going to be a tough stretch of road games in there. They also have to play Pitt. Then they have a non-conference game against Kentucky to end the year as always. But Louisville, if they want to make the ACC championship game, you have to win this one. You have to win this one. Because between Miami and Clemson, you're probably only getting one of those. I don't think you're getting 2. You're getting 1 at most. So if you're going to make the ACC title game, you have to have 2 or fewer losses. And you can't afford to have one of them be SMU. This is a prove-it moment for SMU. Have you really improved to the hype that some people had for you before the season? Can you live up to that potential? Can you play with the big kids at the top of the ACC? I'll take the Cardinals to win at home. I think SMU can hang around, though, with the way the offense has been cooking. 28-24, Louisville gets it done at home. Elsewhere, Friday night in Las Vegas, UNLV hosting Syracuse. Big G5 implications here. If it's another Power 4 win for UNLV, that resume, trending upwards. Trending upwards again. They've already got 2 Big 12 wins. They could put an ACC feather in their resume cap. That'd be pretty good. And I think UNLV gets it done. Quarterback change, no problem. Last week, 28-24. And allow me to go back for just a moment because I flipped my score predictions here. Sometimes that happens. I could have re-recorded. You never would have known. But I want to be real with you guys. I want to be honest with you guys. Louisville 30, SMU 13. I think that is how it plays out. And Louisville makes a statement. That'd be a statement win against SMU. You won't hear me flipping on that position if Louisville does win the game by 17 points. Boston College, very simple. They travel to Virginia. If Thomas Castellanos plays, I think they win. If he doesn't, I think they lose. Next question. It's a 1-point spread. You can pick it either way. Pitt travels to North Carolina. They're a slight favorite. Panthers, sneaky nice team this year. Pitt and Duke, 2 teams flying under the radar that haven't lost a football game yet. Do you understand that? They have the same number of losses combined as Miami. Pitt, 24. North Carolina, 14 in Chapel Hill. I think the slide continues for the Tar Heels in their first ACC game since losing to Duke and the first overall ACC game for Pitt. NC State, oh my gosh. I'm very disappointed in NC State. Very disappointed in NC State and what they have done so far this year. I pray for Dave Doran's sake. I pray for the Wolfpack's sake that they beat Wake Forest at home. I think it's ugly. They barely got by NIU last week, 24-17. I mean, they got it done. Congratulations. I think they'll do it again because they're at home. I'd think about picking this one as an upset. I'll take Wake Forest to keep it close. 21-18. Super dog pick the Demon Deacons. Virginia Tech traveling to Stanford. Now, am I going to feel better about this spread prediction if, and only if, Ashton Daniels plays for the Cardinal? Yes, 100%. But even if he doesn't play, this is an 8-point spread in favor of Virginia Tech. They lost as a 13.5-point road favorite against Vanderbilt a few weeks ago. If Ashton Daniels plays, I think Stanford wins the football game. I don't know that he does, so I'll go Virginia Tech 31-24. But if you give me confirmation that Ashton Daniels plays in this football game, I think the Cardinal on the farm get another marquee win in year 2 of the Troy Taylor era, and I think they'll win that game 27-23. Clemson travels to Florida State, bigger than a 2-touchdown favorite, and guess what? They're going to cover. Clemson has been steamrolling since they got steamrolled by Georgia. They have then been laying the lumber to everybody in their path, and Florida State is an unbridled mess. DJU is hurt. Guess what? I don't care. That benching should have happened a long time ago. It didn't. Why? I don't know. I called for it here on the show, said, hey, this season's over. Playing DJU doesn't do you any good. Well, now he's got a finger injury, and the opportunity presents itself to try to get Brock Glenn some reps and see, can he be the guy? Does he have any potential? Or does Florida State need to completely reset at the quarterback position because they don't have a future starter in that room? Clemson's playing hot. Florida State's playing cold. Florida State's offense still stinks. Quarterback questions. Give me Clemson 38, Florida State 3. I think this is going to send the fans down there in Tallahassee home early. Noles fans are going to be walking out of the stadium before the fourth quarter starts because I can't watch that. I can't watch that anymore. That is how that game plays out. 38-3. That's the biggest conference game point discrepancy that I've predicted so far on this show, and I feel really good about it. I feel really good about what Garrett Riley and Kate Klubnik have got going on with the Tigers right now. There's not going to be a ruckus home environment because they know the season is over and it's all a disaster. Florida State just looks lifeless all the time. Give me Clemson 38-3. Last game here. Georgia Tech, big favorite. Don't know if they should be, but they should be favored at home against Duke. This spells slugfest to me. This also smells like a slugfest to me is what I meant to say. Duke last week was down 20-0 at home against North Carolina, came back to win the football game. They found something with the rushing attack. Malik Murphy did enough. I like Malik Murphy. I think he's done a good job for Manny Diaz and company. I don't think they go into Atlanta and win this football game against Georgia Tech. Brent Key's team, after that big win against Florida State in week 1, it was a massive upset. They were ranked. They've kind of slowed down a little bit. They had the loss against Louisville. They lost to Boston College. They've been fine. Georgia Tech is still a fine, capable team. Duke is 5-0. Don't let the records fool you, though. I think Georgia Tech has a little bit more consistency in their play, even though they've had a couple of losses this year. I think the Yellow Jackets get this one done at home. Give me the Jackets 17-14. You got a couple of physical football teams here. Manny Diaz, defensive guy. They love physicality. Brent Key, run game guy, wants to push you around. This is not going to be a high-scoring football game. Take the under. Georgia Tech 17, Duke 14.